Hey guys, so just about an hour ago Pacific time, which would have been about, I'd say, 9:30 or 8:30 Pacific, if you will. And as you can tell, I did shave this morning. I got out of the shower and when I was showering, I shaved. But anyway, about an hour ago, around 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, Disney dropped another, and I'm assuming the final trailer for Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie that's coming out on May 20th on Disney Plus, the live action CGI hybrid, which is basically, I guess you could say, a tribute, an homage, basically also kind of like a take, if you will, on all different kind of animation that we're dealing with or seeing nowadays and in the past several years and everything. And we kind of get a better idea of what's going on with the characters. We do see like a little bit of a flashback with both of them being in 2D, kind of, where they're just, talking about, like the beginning, you hear Dale's voice saying, when you think about Chip and Dale, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And then all of a sudden you see a picture of the three of the Chip and Dale strip dancers going like this. You see a picture of that. And then he says, well, maybe these guys, but you'll also be thinking about, but maybe you're also thinking about that, band of do-gooders, crime fighters, the Rescue Rangers. And you kind of see like a couple of clips from several episodes, I think. One of the episodes being Dirty Rotten Diapers, I believe. Not Dirty, yeah, Dirty Rotten Diapers. It's that one. So, no, not Dirty Rotten Diapers. What is that one with that girl that wants pets and all that? I can't think of it right now. I can't think of the episode's name right now, but she wanted pets and she got Chip and Dale as pets temporarily. And it involved the return of the Gigantico Ray from the episode where Zipper got turned into a giant. Great nod there. Anyway, they show a clip from that episode to basically, show us, who they're talking about, or who Dale's talking about. And then it shows Chip and Dale talking, and then you see them going back and forth between the voices they have the voices they're going to have in the movie by John McCanley and Andy Samberg, but you also see them going between those voices and the voices you know them from the show. Anyway, we also get we see Dale then driving his car, and I like how, we kind of saw this a little bit in the first trailer, but I like how they designed it to where Dale's got like a high seat he's got to sit on, and his steering wheel is just like a small one, but it's connected to an entire car. It allows him to drive an entire car and everything, which I think is pretty cool. Basically, allowing the characters to adjust to life and everything. But of course, this being Dale, his fender bender or his bumper falls off, kind of showing that his car is not in the best of shapes, but it still allows him to make the rounds. And we see him at a convention, talking to people, saying that he's, making the rounds, keeping himself in shape, even taking on the more modern, animated look. And then you hear somebody ask him that, whether or not this would be better, making these convention rounds if Chip was with him. And Dale's like, well, I haven't talked to him I haven't, seen him in a while. I haven't talked to him in a while. Maybe I should get in contact, see what's going on, right? Kind of catch up with things. See how life is treating him. And then we see Chip, and then he's like, life is terrible. And you're thinking, is he talking to himself? But then he suddenly says, that is why you need life insurance, kind of deal. And then you see him talking to a sheep that I'm assuming looks like it's right out of Wallace and Gromit kind of stuff. Aardman animations, if you will. But he's talking to this sheep character, and the sheep character's like, good God, like really? Anyway, we then see Chip entering his home. He has a pet dog, apparently, which is kind of weird, having a pet dog, you're a chipmunk kind of deal. But anyway, he obviously has a way of feeding him and all that, taking care of him. But long story short, he notices a message on his landline. And he's like, I don't like that. Kind of showing that he's not very sociable anymore except at work. Like, outside of work, he just wants to be left alone. So he plays the message and he hears it's Dale's voice saying that he knows he's still mad about Rescue Rangers being canceled, but he just got a call from the police and he needs his help. So then we transition over to the police, basically charging into a facility, guns and tuned rams, basically busting through the doors. Basically they have ram police. Yeah, actual tuned ram police that bust the doors open, and you see the police just scouring around looking. And then we see them at, I'm assuming, is one of the apartment complexes for tunes, where I think Monterey is, or Dale is, one of them anyway. And we see a female police officer, who I think she's going to play an integral role here, saying that, they scan the area, there's no clues. And then we see this claymation-like tune saying, that's obviously like a detective saying, like, why would there be, 6 missing tunes in a month, And so you kind of get an idea that, okay, it's not just like one friend that's in danger, but it's a multitude of friends. And, you start thinking, okay, well, who would be behind this, right? Who would be the one to basically want to kidnap all these tunes? Then we see the CGI polar bear, ripping open the ceiling of Flounder. Yeah, Flounder from Little Mermaid, capturing him. You also see you see these pictures of all these tunes that are missing. You see like Sleepy's missing. You see a few other tunes that are missing as well. Yeah, Sleepy, from Seven Dwarfs, he's missing. I think there's another tune that's missing. I think from Aristocats is missing. Stuff like that. So you got all these notable tunes from movies and stuff, disappearing. And then what happens is long story short, they're snooping around basically, and Chip's like, look, we're just going to find what we need to do and then turn it over to the police and be done. Which of course excites Dale, and Dale's like, oh, so you're saying the team is back together? That's cool. Now, while they're saying this and everything, we see a clip of the claymation detective taking a piece of himself and putting it back on his arm, or putting it back onto his hand and stuff, reattaching it. Anyway, long story short, they're snooping around, and then you hear this voice saying, you guys are snooping around where you shouldn't be, or sticking your nose around where you shouldn't be. And then we see a freaking older version, almost very gangster mob-like version of Peter Pan. Yeah, Peter Pan is a gangster in this, I guess a criminal, if you will. And he's saying, you guys are sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. He says, I can't have that. And he gives chase along with the polar bear and the Seth Rogen Viking, CGI Viking, who they trip up. And then we get a moment where he comes face to face after he's tripped up. After he is tripped up by Chip and Dale, I should say, and he falls. He looks up and he sees Pumbaa. And we're not talking Pumbaa from 1994. We're talking Pumbaa from recently. The Pumbaa voiced by Seth Rogen. And he's like, what are you looking at? And Pumbaa, voiced also by Seth, is like, your deadpan eyes. So it's obviously they put that moment in there because they knew, well, if we're going to have Seth Rogen, be a character in this film, then we need to have his other character that he voiced for us as well interact with him. And of course, that was Pumbaa. Anyway, we do see the Ranger plane again. So obviously Gadget is in this. We just don't know when she's going to appear, what she's going to sound like, and all that. But she's in it. We do see this amalgamation, obviously, of all these tunes. So now we know why the tunes are missing. Because there's also a scene earlier where Chip and Dale noticed like all this different collection of tune, I guess, memorabilia or parts or whatever. And basically, we kind of get an idea through all that this amalgamation tune that we saw in the first trailer is a combination of all the tunes that are being kidnapped. Like it's a combination of all the traits. So anyway, long story short, they encounter that. It starts firing at them, at a helicopter, which I've been guessing Gadget's probably piloting after the Ranger plane. But again, like I say, we do see the Ranger plane in there, so she's in the film. And really, that's about it. That's really about it. But we do see Chip get captured and taped to something by Peter. And he's like, and then he makes this reference. He says, I've always been an Alvin and the Chipmunks fan more so, or something like that. Oh, no, he says something like, I've been more of an Alvin and the Chipmunks fan, by the way. And Chip's like, you monster. So obviously taking a shot at that as well to kind of really tie into things, if you will. And I guess it's appropriate since the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies were distributed by 20th Century Fox when they were 20th Century Fox, but now studios. So it obviously makes sense that they would throw that in there. Anyway, to get to the point, it ends with both of them dressed up in what looks like to be handyman gear, like repair gear, if you will, like the kind of gear plumbers wear or repairmen wear when they come to your house to repair something. And they start basically speaking at the same time, the same thing. And when they get to the last part, then that's what they're like, and we lost it kind of deal. Realize, and that was kind of a nice little part because they realize, I guess, in the story that they still have this connection only till they get to the end where they can't really, say the same thing once more because they're both thinking, okay, this feels incredible, this feels awesome, and then that's when they would lose it. Overall, this trailer did a little bit better, letting us know, giving us an idea of what the story is about, and that's how the team's going to get back together. I do like that. I like the fact that they kind of gave us an idea of who one of the villains, if not the villain, could be, surprisingly. I like the interaction with, Seth Rogen's character in this movie and his Pumbaa character. That was a nice little Easter egg moment. But overall, I thought the trailer was nice. I thought it was good, for potentially a final trailer. Because, like I said, it gave us a better idea of exactly what we're in store for, as the days go on, as the days and the months leading up to this go on, because you got to remember, we are now less than a month. We are less than a month, away from its debut. I know that because, I know that basically what I'm trying to think about what I'm going to say. This is what happens when you do videos like this unscripted. I know that because today is the 27th, tomorrow's the 28th, 29th is Friday, and the 30th is Saturday. So basically, 20 to 20 is 30, but you minus 7 away from that. We're 23 days away from this film's premiere. So again, I thought the trailer was good. Like I said, it gave us a better idea of what we're in store for, what's going on, who's behind this. Seeing that there's more to the missing, persons kind of thing than just, one tune or something like that. And again, it gives you a good example of an amalgamation of all these different animation styles that they're going to be touching upon in the film, to go along with the story. But overall, again, I thought it was good, and I can't wait to see it when it comes out May 20th. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. How do you feel about the Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers second trailer, potentially final trailer before the movie? How do you feel about, more of the story being explained or, given out, like, there's more to this than we can imagine? As well as what are your thoughts on the fact that Peter Pan could potentially be the villain, if not one of the villains, in the film? And also to reiterate what I said before in the video, Gadget will not be the villain. If she is the villain, that's going to really upset a lot of fans. So I don't think Disney's going to go that far. I think she'll join up with them, but we just don't know when. Because if there's one thing I'll say about these trailers is, yes, they do show us the characters, the other characters of the Rescue Rangers along with Chip and Dale, but we don't see them all the time. We don't see them all the time. And, I have to give credit to the first and this trailer for, kind of keeping it more like in secret of how they're all going to come together, if you will. And like I said, expanding more on what the story's going to be about, like with the missing tunes, as well as finding out that it's not just, Chip, or it's not just maybe Dale and maybe Gadget and Monterey that were disappointed that the show got canceled, but it's mostly Chip. Because we see Chip, he lives in a regular house, a house that he can afford, that he's pretty much put together, to where basically, he just wants to live on his own. He wants to live his own life, be left alone besides, working outside of his job as a life insurance seller. So we kind of see that he's a little bit more upset about it than we would assume, anybody else on the team were. So yeah, it's interesting that we find out more about, why Chip is the way he is in the film and everything, and why he even mentioned something like nobody wants to see a reboot at the end of the last trailer because he's still upset at the fact that the original got canceled. So yeah, it's interesting to see that getting more expanded on and talked about. And again, like I said, cannot wait to see the whole film when it comes out in less than a month. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys, on this new trailer. How do you feel about it? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, where super chats and super stickers are open and would be appreciated, guys. And also, check me out at BW Rose's Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmart-2 to help donate there. Also at CashApp at BW Roses 98. Also, check me out at DeviantArt at BVW1979. And check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses to support me with a $1 or $3 tier. The $3 tier allows you to get content you can't get anywhere else until later and everything. And sorry, just got a message there from Frank Hill. It's Frank. But anyway, like I said, check me out at my patreon.com/BW Roses with a $1, $3 tier. $1 tier gets you a shout out. $3 tier gets you a shout out and access to video content you can't get anywhere else until later on. And also, check me out at VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get here on YouTube due to copyright reasons. And going back to the Patreon, like I said, there's video content you can't get anywhere else until later. One of the videos I recently put up is probably going to go public real soon. So I just thought I'd let you know about that. And until next time, guys, again, let me know what your thoughts were on the trailer. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about some of the revelations, or at least hints, clues, if you will, of what's going on? And until next time, guys, God bless. Take care. I am out. Peace.